hope your day is full of resolutions and champagne and noisemakers and top hats and a lot of gold and silver. And what other things do people get into on New Year's? Fireworks. I feel like fireworks are part of it. And like dieting afterwards. And like leaving some bullshit in the past that you don't need to bring with you into this new decade of 2020. I hope that your day's full of all of those things and sparklers and sparkling cider and lots of cheersing and lots of gowns with sequins. You know the deal. Guys, I have an amazing episode for you this week with Abdullah Saeed. But before we get into this week's episode, I just want to tell you a little bit about something that I love, and that's weed. That's right. I love cannabis. If you know me, you know that about me. But not just any cannabis, because there are so many options nowadays, and you can't trust every option. That's why I trust Absolute Extracts. You could check them out online at abx.org. They offer an amazing variety of products. They have distillate. They also have a carbonated beverage called Hi-Fi Hops, which I personally love. It's like a sparkling water, and it's infused with cannabis. So you can literally have 5 milligrams of THC while the people around you get drunk, and you won't care. You'll just be high, and it's the perfect amount of high. I would say it's equivalent to like the 1 beer version. So I love bringing Hi-Fi Hops to holiday events, and you will too. You definitely have to try them. They're like 0 calories. They taste really good, and they get you the perfect amount of high. They're slightly infused, so you're not going to be so baked that you can't socialize. I love them so much. They also have this amazing sleepy time collection at ABX. They have little sublingual drops you can just put underneath your tongue before bed, and you will pass right out, and you will sleep like the perfect angel that you are. You know what I mean? Check them out on ease.com. You can enter discount code SHANK, SHENK, for 20% off. And yeah, Absolute Extracts, guys, check them out. Also, anyone who knows me knows that sometimes I get a little bit of anxiety. I'm an anxious person. I run around a lot. My schedule is a little bit crazy. And that's why I love CBD. I love CBD because it kind of just takes the edge off for me. And not just any CBD. I love Care by Design. You can go to cbd.org, and you can literally on their homepage there's a bunch of different questions, and you can find out which CBD product is right for you. So if you're someone who's anxious, you can find a CBD product that's right for you. If you're someone who has muscle stiffness or joint pain, then maybe a topical ointment in addition to a gel capsule is right for you. Whatever you need, Care by Design has you covered. It's truly one of the best CBD brands I've ever personally tried. And you can go to ease.com, enter discount code SHANK, SHENK, for 20% off. That's right, 20% off on all Absolute Extracts and Care by Design products. You're welcome. Also, special thanks to Betterbox TV and Speedweed. Make sure to follow me at Princess Shank on Instagram and Twitter for all my show dates. I have a bunch of shows coming up, and you can find out where I'll be online at Princess Shank. And if you're enjoying the podcast, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. Thanks so much. Episode of Shank. I'm Sara Weinshenk, and today's guest is Abdullah Saeed.
Hello.
Yes, thank you for coming back on. Had to get you on with the video.
My pleasure.
Nice
new digs, by the way. Congrats.
Thank you to Speedweed and Betterbox for hooking it up with the new location. We love it here. So last time you came on, we talked a little bit about uniform shirts.
Yes.
And why you didn't like them.
Yes. Oh, that was a great conversation.
It was a riveting conversation. But today I want to ask you a little bit about your cannabis journey.
Yes, absolutely.
So when did you start smoking weed?
So I started smoking weed when I was a freshman in high school in Massachusetts, right? And I was 14 years old. So
That's when I started. 14.
yeah, no kidding. Where'd you grow up?
In the valley. in
Okay,
LA.
gotcha. So you were out here. So you actually had decent access to some nugs out here.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty good. I did not. I had to find this kid. I remember he was like, I asked around for where I could buy some pot, right? And somebody was like, oh, you should ask this kid, right? And I forget his name, but he was a dick. He was like the worst fucking kid. He was real mean, you know what I mean?
A mean stoner?
Yeah, he was a mean stoner. If you remember, in high school, because weed was lumped in with like all the other bad drugs, it was like he was like the bad kid or whatever.
Okay,
you know?
okay.
So he was the one with access to potentially anything you were looking for. And in my case, I wanted some weed. And in the locker room, I remember it was right after gym class, I bought some weed from him. And I remember I didn't have a baggie, but what I had was I had a Velcro wallet, which I believe was from like Pacific Sunwear, Hot Topic. You remember, you know the type,
that.
right?
I know the type.
It was like an O'Neill wallet. It was like, you know what I mean?
Not subtle at all.
Not subtle. And in it, there is a little photo album. If you remember, wallets used to come with like a card case photo album thing. And I didn't have anything else. So I ripped off one of the photo sleeves and he put the weed in there.
No.
And I remember, yes, 100%.
That was so innovative of you at 14. Okay.
I'm a resourceful guy. And he was putting nugs into the bag for $20, right? And I said, thanks, by the way. And he stops putting the nugs in. He goes, I was going to give you more, but if that's all you want, fine. You said thanks. You said thanks. So that's all. And he seemed like he was done giving me weed, but I had highlights. What an asshole. His name was Jeremiah. His name was Jeremiah.
Really?
And if you're out there watching this, fuck you.
Wait, he said he was going to give you more, but since you said thank you prematurely,
Yes.
he was going to punish you.
Yes. That was this guy's idea of how weed should be distributed.
Power tripping.
Power tripping. This kid was power tripping. To be fair, it seemed like, in retrospect, the only moment in his life where he would have wielded some power.
Yes.
So I'm glad he got to enjoy it. And I got my weed. And I took it home and I rolled it up in, again, I got resourceful. I took a Lipton tea bag, right?
Okay.
And I ripped the cover of it and used that as a joint paper. And
Wait, what?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
How did you know to do that?
So I knew that the paper from a cigarette, because I had previously stolen a cigarette from like my uncle and smoked it, and I knew that the paper from a cigarette was more thin than like your textbook paper, you know what I mean, notebook paper.
Okay.
So I was like, what's the thinnest paper I can find in the house? And the tea bag paper seemed to be the thinnest one, so I used that.
No.
Yes.
The first how did you even do that? You took the tea out of the bag?
No, well, so rather than the bag paper, it was the paper of the packet.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
yes.
I thought you dismantled like a fucking tea bag, like dumped tea out.
At a different time, I did that too.
No.
Yeah, I tried a few different things. So one thing to keep in mind about my first smoking experiences is that I grew up in Thailand, right? Until I was like 13. And then when I was 13, I'd never smoked weed. I'd never done anything bad in my life. I was a 13-year-old kid. I was like 12, 13. And then we moved right after my 13th birthday. And then within a year, I was like, I had tried smoking a cigarette and I wanted to try smoking pot. But I moved to this new school. I was living with my dad at the time. I was only at this school for 1 year. The place where I started smoking weed, I was only there for 1 year, right? And I moved there and I was a freshman in high school, and that high school merged 2 middle schools, right? So there was 2 middle schools that fed into this high school, and I remember one of the teachers when I was like signing up for school was like, well, all the kids from Northborough will think you're from Southborough, and all the kids from Southborough will think you're from Northborough because they've never seen each other before.
Yeah.
But they don't know that you're from the other side of the fucking world, and she thought it was very funny. And I didn't, because I knew the effect of that would be that I would have no fucking friends. And I did not have any friends.
You didn't?
I did not have any friends for a long time. I later in that at that school, made some friends that I'm still friends with today. But for the first very long chunk of time, zero friends. Friendless. And this was the case at my last school and the one before that, ever since I left Thailand.
No.
Yes.
So you felt like the odd one out.
I was the odd man out, and I wanted to get high really bad. And I had no one to do it. And I knew that weed, I remember thinking that weed is either it makes things entertaining or it is entertainment in itself.
So how did you know that you just knew that you wanted to try it?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to try it. I had maybe seen something like Half Baked. I'd maybe seen a TV show or movie. I'm not sure what it is that was the first thing that I was like, oh, I want to try smoking weed. I can't remember what made it seem fun. But maybe it was Half Baked because this was around that time. And
then you got stoned. You're like, fuck it. I don't care that I don't have friends.
Basically.
You're like, I am my own friend.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was when I learned that you don't need much. You know what I say now is that all I need to be happy is a bag of weed and an internet connection.
Damn. That's powerful.
I think so, right?
A bag of weed and an internet connection?
Yes.
And maybe a coffee.
Maybe a coffee and something to sit on.
Do you like coffee?
I have an interesting journey with coffee,
Let's talk about it.
It's probably more interesting than my journey with weed, right?
Let's talk about your coffee journey.
All right, so here's my coffee journey. So my mother, right, she came to America, right? My parents got divorced when I was 13. My mom came to America, right?
Okay, and where's your mom from?
My mom is, she's Pakistani. She lives in, she's Pakistani American, and she lives in upstate New York.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, you know, once she got on her feet, her first business in America was a coffee shop, right?
Okay.
And there was one initially that she then later sold, and then there was one. It was a Gloria Jean's Coffee. It was a franchise coffee shop.
Okay.
Right? And it was in a mall called the Mall at Short Hills, which is in northern New Jersey, right outside New York.
Okay.
Right? And it's a mall where it's like a very fancy mall. There's like a Versace store and a Gucci store. It's like a fancy mall, right? And my mom had the coffee shop in this mall, right?
Okay.
And it was like the kind of mall where I worked at that coffee shop, right? But if I went on break, there wasn't a Hot Topic or Pacific Sunwear where I could shop for Velcro wallets, right? Those didn't exist. Yeah, it wasn't that kind of mall.
It was just like luxury and decadence is what I'm hearing.
It was things that were out of my price range, right?
Yes.
So, you know, I just remember getting coffees and like walking around or whatever, right? It's like I could drink as much coffee as I wanted. It was a coffee shop. And I had not been much of a coffee drinker before that. I'm Pakistani. My family drinks chai, right?
Okay.
Quite a bit, which is black tea, sometimes spiced with milk, sugar, right?
Okay.
So I drank a lot of chai. Chai is always I drank since I was a kid, right? But not much coffee. And I started drinking coffee and I really liked it, right? And then I would take 2 shots of espresso at work. Yeah.
And how old are you at this point?
16 about.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah. So I would drink coffee and get really wired and work, and it felt good and everything, right? And then there was a switch, right? So what essentially happened was my mom fired me from the coffee shop.
Why?
Because I was serially late for about a week, right?
Okay. Did she give you a warning?
She did give me a warning, and it was a lesson, and I'm very thankful for it. She fired me. I convinced her to rehire me, and then I was late again within a week. She fired me again.
No.
Right? Yes. Twice, right? And I had it coming. I really deserved it. It was a very teachable moment. And she made me get another job. Or she didn't make me. She said, well, you better get another fucking job, right? So I went around the mall. Now, I'm this scrubby punk-ass kid, right? And I worked at my mom's coffee shop in this mall. And literally every other place in this mall is like a super fancy fucking Gucci Versace place, right?
Yeah.
So, and they are not going to hire me, right? They're definitely not. I looked insane in high school. I had fucking dyed hair. I wore chains and stuff like that.
What color dyed hair?
I did like the whole fucking rainbow, but it was, at this time, I think it was either blue or orange or something.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was always some crazy hair situation. Either way, the only place that hired me was the Lady Foot Locker.
No, you worked at Lady Foot Locker?
I worked at Lady Foot Locker, yes.
What color? You had like blue hair and you worked at Lady Foot Locker?
Yes.
I love that.
And I may have changed my hair. I may have like buzzed my hair off for this job. I can't remember completely. But either way, yeah, I was shocked that they hired me, but then I had a job and I worked there. And I stopped drinking coffee on the reg, right?
Okay.
And then I went away to college, right? And in college, I was unable to drink coffee without becoming very, very jittery, right?
Really?
Yeah, my palms would start sweating. And like, I remember that my friends would fight over Adderall when midterm or finals time came.
Yeah.
Right? It was crazy to watch.
A hot commodity.
A hot commodity, and a very like, brutally like fought over. I remember seeing like friendships destroyed over Adderall, right?
Cutthroat.
Yeah. And I smoked a lot of weed, right? And when finals or midterms time came, I would go to 7-Eleven and I would get a small coffee, right? And I would drink like 3/4 of it and I would be fucking wired, right? And I would be up for like 24 hours.
Really?
Yeah. And then, like for years, I could not drink coffee. It would just make me too wired. And I was like, I don't drink coffee. And then I stopped drinking alcohol at some point after college as well. And I was like, wow, I just smoke weed and I don't drink coffee and I don't drink alcohol. It kind of became a thing. If someone was like, oh, do you like not do anything? I would say, yeah, well, I don't drink coffee and I don't drink alcohol, right?
Yeah.
And then when I moved to LA, that rule started becoming a little bit looser.
Okay.
Right? And I drink a little bit of alcohol here and there. Still not that into alcohol. Don't love it.
Me either.
Yeah, it's just not that enjoyable, right?
No.
And then I started dating this girl who drinks coffee on the reg, right? And she drinks coffee all day, or probably drinks like 2 cups of coffee a day, right? So then at one point, right, like I moved, right, in the midst of this, and I started to identify as a non-cigarette smoker, even though I had been a cigarette smoker since I was 15.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I moved to this new apartment, right? And on the application, I filled in that I'm a non-smoker, right?
Right.
And then I moved and I just became the person described in the application. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah.
You filled out the application and left your past behind.
I did, completely. And I moved to a place, I stopped smoking cigarettes, right? And right around then, I took a sip of my girlfriend's coffee and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this now. And I started drinking coffee again. And now I drink coffee every day. For the last like 3 months, I buy a bottle of cold brew concentrate from 365 Market.
Okay, I like 365.
Me
For
too.
those of you who don't know what 365 is, it's like the cheaper version of Whole Foods. I don't think it's everywhere, but it's fucking bomb.
It is awesome. Yeah. And
we need more of them.
Yeah, we really do need more of them.
We need more 365s.
Yeah, I'm shocked that there's only one that I know of.
Yeah, the one on the east side.
Yes, that's right.
It's a hell of a 365. I'll tell you that much. Wait, okay, so now you buy your concentrate from 365.
Yes, and I get the Oatly oat milk, right?
Okay, that oat milk is the bomb.
It's so fucking good.
It's so fucking good. And so you mix the cold brew with the Oatly?
Yes, and I also, I have a little Rubbermaid 10-ounce travel mug, which I travel with it and I drink out of it at home too.
Really?
Yeah, because it keeps it cold. It keeps the ice like still like
cold.
Solid. Yeah, for a longer period of time, right? And I sweeten my coffee, but I do it with honey.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So what I do, and then obviously it's very difficult to mix honey in with cold brew, right?
Yes.
So what I do is I make a simple syrup with honey, right?
What do you mean?
I just put honey into a little squeeze bottle and then I pour very, very hot water. So it's like 1 part water, 1 part honey.
Okay.
And I mix it real good. I dissolve all the honey into the water.
Okay.
And I put that in the fridge and then it cools off. And then it's a liquid. You can just squeeze it into anything and stir it right in. And it'll sweeten it up.
And it's better.
Yes, exactly.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And I try to only use local honey because they say that it has like natural like immunity building
Yeah,
shit
that's
in
good
it.
for like allergies.
Yeah,
and
they
stuff.
say it's good for allergies as well. So I go to the farmer's market, I get honey, and I mix it in with this shit, and that's how I make it. I pour in the ice, concentrate, some water, some Oatly, squeeze a little. Yeah, see, you have a video show now. This
We
my
need
hand motions.
We need to get the hand motions
Yeah.
in since we have video now. The
They're
more
being
you
seen.
use the hands, the better. You know what
Exactly.
I mean?
Yes.
Absolutely. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Your coffee journey, your cannabis journey. Should we talk about your fashion journey?
Oh my God! What that's the journey to nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean the journey to nowhere?
So you know what? This is very interesting. I have never spoken in an interview about my fashion sense, but I am very particular about the clothes that I wear. Right.
Right.
I'm a bit of a minimalist. I wear a lot of black and white, and gray, as I am now. Am I wearing a white and black? I am indeed.
You're on brand.
I'm on brand right now. Wow, I'm really fully on brand top to bottom. And so basically, here's my fashion journey. I'll give it to you, right?
Let's hear about your
So it
fashion
starts
journey.
with the uniforms. Obviously, I was scarred as a child.
Scarred, me too.
Yeah.
I'm still confused as to like I get to make my own style choices now that I don't have a uniform.
And you
I'm
make
wearing,
great style choices.
Thank you, but I'm also wearing like a uniform style skirt right now.
Right, you're
because
right.
It's just like ingrained in my head. Like I have like 3 of these skirts, 2 in black, 1 in navy, because that's what I grew up with.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny that people react to their uniforms in different ways, right? To me, when I came to America, I mean, I dreamed of going to a school like you see in the movies, like you see in Encino Man or whatever, where there's just like people wear whatever they want.
I
Oh my
know,
God,
it's like a
right?
fucking free for all.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, like a kid walks in wearing a t-shirt that says like, fuck you, you know,
Yes.
anything goes. So I was like, to me, that was America, you know? And I came to America and I lived in Long Island. And again, it was weird that there was almost like a status quo uniform, which at the time was like a Perry Ellis America fleece.
Oh no,
you know?
Perry Ellis.
Yeah, Perry
I
Ellis.
haven't thought of that for a second.
Nobody has.
Perry Ellis
has.
was hot.
Yeah, he was. Tommy
the
Hilfiger.
90s.
Yeah.
Perry Ellis was like, Tommy Hilfiger adjacent.
Nautica. Yeah.
Yeah, what was that? It's like preppy.
It was like, to me, it was hip hop stuff because kids would also wear South Pole jeans. You know what I mean?
Oh shit.
This was New
South
York.
Pole.
Yeah, this was New York. I
Yeah.
always, I remember coming to America, moving to Long Island, right? And being like, yes, I'm in America. And then going to school and being like, wait. I think I was thinking of California. Like, this is not the place I wanted to go. Like, it's cold. The people are fucking shitty. Like, why are we here?
What was it like going from Thailand to Long Island? That seems like it's a big jump.
Yeah, it was interesting. Not as interesting as my fashion journey, though, which I'm going to jump back to, right?
Let's jump back.
Real quick. So basically, to me, the biggest revolution for me was I worked at a company called Karmaloop, right? At one point, I quit from Vice. And I worked at Karmaloop. Does that sound familiar to you?
Why does it sound familiar, but I can't remember what it is.
So basically what it is kind of the Walmart of streetwear.
Okay,
right?
okay.
So basically it's like this place where if you're a kid in the middle of nowhere, you can go on this website and order like Mishka and like Rocksmith and whatever, all those like brands, what were the other ones? Crooks and Castles or like Volcom or the Hundreds. There's all these brands that sold like their sort of like, fashionable streetwear stuff through Karmaloop, right?
Okay.
And at the time, these things that come out, right? And we were doing a shoot where I was producing a shoot where there was a box of clothes from the company. And in there was a pair of jogger pants, right?
Okay.
And at the time, I had never heard of jogger pants. I just wore like Levi's or whatever, right? And yeah, as a kid, I was like, had been into punk music or rap music or whatever and sort of dressed the part. And at this point, I didn't give a fuck what I dressed like. It really didn't matter to me. And I found these things that look like regular trousers, but they have an elastic waist and a drop crotch, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, this is a fucking revolution. And I tried, someone was like, just try those pants on. And I tried them on and they were very, very comfortable. I fucking loved them. You know what I'm saying? And it like changed everything. I was like, oh my God, I'm just going to wear these. And I was kind of an early adopter of jogger pants. Maybe not to the streetwear community, but to the mainstream world for sure.
Jogger pants.
Jogger pants, right? For example, the pants I'm wearing right now used to be jogger pants, right?
Okay.
And basically that just means they had an elastic bottom.
But you cut the elastic out.
I cut the elastic out. And actually these right now, I didn't prep myself, but usually I would fold these guys up like this, right?
Okay.
So I started wearing jogger pants on a show that I did for Vice called Vice Does America, right? And I did a couple of documentaries also wearing these pants because they were the perfect field pants, right?
Yes.
Because they were comfortable. I could curl up in the van and fall asleep and I would be comfortable. There's no belt, there's no zipper, there's none of that. They're great pants for being in the field, right? And then people started hitting me up on social media being like, where'd you get those pants? Like, what are those pants? You know what I'm saying? And initially,
jogger pants.
What are those pants about? And I remember at one point after Vice Does America came out, Googling myself, which I'm not above doing once in a while.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
How else are you supposed to keep up with what's happening?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What people are saying about you.
Yeah.
And the autocomplete thing, it always says like Vice, weed, whatever, right? And this time it said pants.
No.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm a fashion influencer.
You
look,
are.
Yeah. Look, people want to know what kind of pants I was wearing on something. And a couple people messaged me asking about the pants. I hit them up and said, whatever, these pants. And actually, initially, this company called Xanarobe, those are the first jogger pants I got, right? And I really like that
like
brand.
Australian, maybe.
They're Australian, and they used to send me like all kinds of wardrobe for Bon Appetit, for other stuff. Love their shit. I still have a ton of it. It fits like a skinny guy like me really well. And then the rep I worked with there left, and then I was never able to get in touch with them again. And they never sent me any more shit. So I switched to some pants that I actually think are better. All right. And they're the ones I'm wearing right now.
Okay.
They're by a company called Victorious, right?
Okay.
Which literally, I went on Amazon, right? And this was after I'd gotten those jogger pants, whatever. I went on Amazon and I typed in, there's something I do frequently. I typed in just this vague description of exactly what I want, right?
Okay.
Which was at the time, I said, I want acid wash denim jogger pants, right?
Yes.
And boom, they popped up. $34 or something, right?
No.
The Xanarobes are like $130.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, holy shit. I got them in like a bunch of different colors, right? And this is probably my third pair of those. This was like years ago that I got them, and you can't get these anymore.
No.
Yeah. They're not on Amazon anymore.
So this is your jogger pant journey.
This is my jogger pant journey. And then jogger pants are a little passe now, I would say. So I started cutting the bottoms off of these, and frankly, this is a whole new world of comfort because it has an elastic waist, right? It's got a drop crotch,
right?
And now the bottoms are like open, so it's very comfortable.
So you care about what you're doing. You know what I mean?
I care
like,
about
there's
my
some
comfort.
Thought.
Yes.
There's some thought that's going on. You're not just like throwing on anything. Like you
Some.
sought these jogger pants out.
Yes.
You know?
Yes,
and
very
I respect
specifically.
that.
Thank you.
I respect that. It's a good move.
Thank you. And then you know what? Just to add on to there real quick, tops to me is it's an ongoing journey because I fall into this thing of, like I like to think that my fashion sense is about what I vaguely describe into Amazon and then what selections of what people give me for free. Right. And I get a lot of free clothes, but they are mostly flat brim hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts.
A lot of flat brim hats. I get a lot of flat brim hats.
What are they thinking when they give you a flat brim hat? Like, it does not fit with your whole thing at all. Yeah.
It's always like, no.
Yeah, no, it's a weird look. I don't wear flat brim hats anymore.
Me either.
Yeah, I used to. I used to wear a Phillies hat all day.
Because
every
it
day.
reminds me of Lids. That store
Yes.
that's like in the mall where people go and they buy those flat brim hats and they keep
Oh,
the
yeah.
sticker on for like a year.
Oh
And
yeah,
you're
I
like,
was one of those kids.
You were?
Yes.
You kept the sticker on your hat?
I had certain hats that I kept the
Do
sticker
you still
on.
have hats with stickers on them?
Only when they're given to me by a weed company.
Weed companies love a flat brim sticker hat.
They really do. And,
Yeah.
and
Why?
I don't know. It's such a uniform of weed world. I definitely think that the weed community has a fashion problem, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs a rebrand in terms of fashion.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? We got to bring some fashion to cannabis. That's what I hope to do.
You know what I want to bring back is more of like just wearing like a one drapey thing.
Like a toga?
Like a toga or a muumuu, or like the traditional Pakistani outfit is the shalwar kameez, which is just like, you've probably seen it. It's like a long shirt and like sort of like harem pants.
That sounds
You know
cozy
what I mean?
as fuck.
Very, very cozy. And at some point, I'm just going to switch entirely into that wardrobe.
Yes. What kind of shoes would you wear with that?
With that, you would wear like some leather sandals or, moccasin type thing.
Like a loafer, perhaps?
You know what? That's a great look.
Yes.
That is a great look. Just the long shalwar kameez top, right? The shalwar, the kameez rather, and then you would just wear some loafers. I want to get some loafers. I'm a big sneaker guy.
That, like you in a velvet loafer would be good.
You know what's so funny, Sarah?
You want a velvet loafer?
I totally want a velvet loafer. I've been thinking about it quite a bit recently. I'm gonna get a velvet loafer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please update us.
I will, absolutely.
And then I'll post it on my Instagram.
Yes.
Like, Abdullah got his velvet loafers. Abdullah and his velvet loafers.
That's me.
A story.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, how big of a culture shock was it going from Thailand to Long Island?
Yeah. Very big, for sure. And like, when I lived in Thailand, I went to an American school. I lived in a community of people that spoke English. I, went to school, went to an American school. We had American television shows, that there was like an English speaking cable that you could get. So in some ways, and at the time also, this was like in the 90s before George W. Bush. Which is like the internet and George W. Bush and the Iraq War happening basically made the whole world like hate America a lot. And before that, the world thought America was really cool because America exported like Nikes and Levi's and Coca-Cola and Mel Gibson movies, or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, it used, when I was a kid, it was very cool. And when they were like, oh, Abdullah's going to move to America, everyone was like, wow, you're so lucky, right? And then I moved and I came to America. And it was Long Island, and I was like, "Oh God, like this is what it is." But then I adjusted, and it was okay, and I started to have more of a good time. I've only been back to Thailand once. That was in 2003, and we went back, and all those same kids who were like, "Oh, lucky Abdullah went to America," were all like, "America's a warmongering fucking hate machine."
No.
Yeah, totally. And they were like, everyone was very critical of the United States at the time. It was, Bush, Iraq War, et cetera, all that stuff. So that was very interesting to me in that the perception of America from Thailand changed completely in the first few years that I was in America, right? And also, I came to America and was like, oh, this is great. I came in 97 and was like, I'm in America now. I'm an American. I was born in the United States. My father was in school there. We had gone to Thailand before I was 1. So I didn't really have any memory of it. And then being back there, I was like, all right, this is my place that I live, and I'm a person from here because I'm not Thai and I'm barely Pakistani. I don't know what I am, right? And then 9/11 happened. You know what I mean? So and that I was, I experienced some like prejudice from people in school, and you know what I mean? And then that was disillusioning because it's like you're in this new place, you know what I mean? A place that I had felt like I was adopting.
Right.
And then it almost like turned on me, you know what I mean? In a way.
Yeah,
and
that's
so,
crazy.
Yeah. So that changed life in America quite a bit. I went away to college shortly after that, so I was around some like-minded people, but there's still a lot of ignorance, you know what I mean? And I lived in Philadelphia then. I lived in Philadelphia for about 8 years, which is the longest I've lived anywhere except for Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's very much became my home. And I lived in New York City for 7 years.
Oh,
after
shit.
that. Yeah.
Because, you know what's interesting is, like, you can kind of hear Becky's accent.
Yeah, I
like,
get that a
shine
lot.
through. Like, I can hear it, but only, like, on some words.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I have a mutt accent. When you go to American school in another country, you have sort of a blank slate American accent.
Yeah, so did they teach you... You learned English in school?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
my first language. yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you already knew English.
I already knew English.
Got
yeah,
it.
from childhood. I
And
grew
then-
up speaking Urdu and English.
Okay,
Yeah.
so... Wait, say it again, the first one?
Urdu. It's the national language of Pakistan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but what do they speak in Thailand?
They speak Thai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know how to speak Thai too?
Barely. I like not really anymore. At the time, I knew basic words and how to just talk about food and stuff like that. I could still talk about food. So here in LA, I came to LA. One of my favorite things about this place is that there's a lot of Thais, and the Thai food is amazing out here. And it's like I'm reliving my childhood through LA's Thai food culture.
What kind of Thai food do you like? What are your faves?
Oh man. So my favorite food is kway teow, what you would call kway teow in Thai, but it's like the boat noodles, right?
Okay.
The boat noodle soup, right?
Okay.
Which is weird that they call it boat noodle soup here. I mean, in Thailand, I suppose that it is one of the things that you get at the boat market or whatever. But so boat noodles, right? Which is basically the thin vermicelli noodles and a few cuts of beef in a very dark broth with Chinese broccoli, cilantro, fried garlic.
That sounds amazing.
Things. It's really good. I make it myself because on the East Coast you couldn't get it anywhere. And my mom, made it a certain way. She made it like sort of the northern recipe, which is a little bit lighter of a soup, but still one of my favorite things to this day. That's my favorite food. What it is, an easy way to think of it is it's the Thai version of pho.
Okay.
Yeah.
I fucks with that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that sounds
Big time.
amazing. Okay, so what about, are you a pad Thai guy, or is that like basic to you? Are you like,
It's
that's
basic
like a
to me.
basic bitch, like,
Yes.
oh, I'm eating Thai, you got pad Thai?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the funny thing to me is that in Thailand, pad Thai did not exist.
It's some like whitewash shit.
I think so. But now perhaps it does exist in Thailand. But I remember debating this with a Thai American person in America. They were like, no, they have it there. And I think that's funny because pad Thai, the translation of pad Thai is fried Thai.
No.
It's like if we called burgers grilled America.
No.
Yes, 100%. It's got what food of a country has the name of that country's people in it? It's
no,
like
that makes no sense at all.
yeah, exactly, right? You wouldn't be like, oh yeah, it's like, of course, like, Brazilians don't call Brazilian barbecue. They just call it barbecue, right?
Yeah.
So pad Thai is a thing that was developed. I believe it's like chicken tikka masala, for example, was developed in the UK for a British audience.
It was.
Yeah. It's not. It's an adaptation. I believe that pad Thai is like the General Tso's chicken of Thai food, in that it's like a bastardized version of it. I also don't like the wide noodles, particularly
You don't
dry.
like a wide noodle.
Don't like a wide noodle. I have a bad memory from childhood about a wide noodle.
What happened with the wide noodle?
I think I bit into like a piece of chicken that had some weird like gristly thing
Consistency?
in it. Yeah, and there's just a childhood memory that made me not like wide noodles. I'm not a
Fuck
picky
wide
eater.
noodles.
Yeah. I'm gonna add that I am really not a picky eater. I will literally eat fucking anything. Like,
Would you eat a wide noodle?
Yeah.
But you'd rather not.
I'd rather not. I prefer the thin ones, but if it was in front of me, or if they were like, we only have the wide noodle, I'd be like, whatever, no big deal.
Because you're a trooper.
I'm a trooper. I'll literally eat anything.
I respect that. So,
Thanks.
question, jumping topics real quick.
Sure.
Do you like to smoke before you write?
Yeah, I smoke while I write. I smoke before, after. It's funny to me. I smoke to relax and I smoke to work. Yeah, it's a constant thing.
Totally.
Yeah, and it helps me. You know what? I'm gonna backpedal on that. I don't know if it helps me. It could be that if I didn't smoke weed at all, I'd be much more productive and efficient. But I don't think I would enjoy it as much.
No, 100%. It helps you enjoy the process of writing more.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
I
It's
think
like
so.
I'll get like lost in it versus if I'm like sober trying to write, I'm like, fuck, this is boring.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it helps me be more imaginative, and then I can like always like tighten it up soberly or whatever.
Yeah.
Perform it sober.
It's so funny to me that, like, you know, when you're a kid, the worst thing in the world is homework. And the worst kind of homework is writing a paper or an essay.
Yes.
And for some reason, that's what I do for a fucking living.
I know.
Why do I do homework? The worst kind of homework for a living.
It does feel like you're doing homework.
Yeah,
still.
yeah, totally.
That's the only thing I can compare it to. Because you're like, oh, I have to write, like,
Yeah.
I'm on a deadline. I have to turn this in.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
whatever, you know?
Yeah, all you want to do is go outside and play with your friends, but you can't because you have homework.
I know. So if you're high, it's way more fun.
Exactly. That's why I get high and do it, I think, is because I think that I do a better job when I'm having fun. And when I'm high, I'm having fun.
I respect that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you still have a Velcro wallet?
No. Now I'm going to show you my wallet.
Let's see.
My wallet is just
Ooh.
an elastic strap.
It's so minimal.
It's very, very minimal. It's the smallest wallet that I could find. I don't remember what it's called, but I order wallets from Amazon or whatever. Like, I'm on a perpetual quest to find the smallest wallet that I can, right?
Really?
Yeah.
You love a small wallet and a jogger pant?
I love a small wallet and a jogger pant. They go together very nicely.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's not as intrusive.
Exactly. And basically what this is if I took out the cards, this is just a loop of elastic strap with like two extra little sides in it. That's it.
So you order a lot of shit off Amazon.
I order a lot of shit off Amazon. I'm trying to not, because it turns out it's the worst fucking thing ever. And also, I can't decide if it's bad or not. Because look, on the one hand, hey, evolution, you know what I mean? Like, it's the evolution of the business marketplace. They make it easier. They do a good job. They certainly make my life easier.
Yes,
look,
they make everyone's life easier.
Mm-hmm. Right now, I need Brillo pads. I need a squeeze bottle, and I need what is it? There's a couple other things at the house. I need like dish soap, right?
Okay, getting domestic with Abdullah.
Getting domestic. And you know what? It's so much easier for me to, like, I'm a busy guy, right? To go to the supermarket, it becomes a whole thing.
No, it's a whole fucking thing.
Yeah, and
especially if you're a stoner.
Yes.
You're like, oh shit, now I'm at the store and there's so many options and I'm high. What did I come here for?
Yeah.
The worst is when you go to the store and then you get home and you unpack everything and you're missing the one thing that you fucking need.
Exactly. That, and like, when you order off Amazon, the fucking thing just shows up. And then I don't
Brought to you by Amazon.
Yeah, and also, like, I don't know, like, I don't know about their practices and all that shit, but all I know is that
it's convenient.
Oh my God. It's hard for me not to do it. It's just so convenient. Okay, man, they should really be paying me.
Yeah. Amazon, if you're out here listening.
Yeah, I demand free 2-day shipping on everything I order from your site.
And unlimited Brillo pads.
Unlimited Brillo pads.
You have some scrubbing you need to get to?
I do. There is, I've been making grilled cheeses at home.
Oh,
right?
Shit.
Oh, I have fucking mastered it, by the way.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to go anywhere for a grilled cheese anymore. I've had a couple that are very, very good out. You know what I mean? But I was like, you know what? I'm going to just master making the perfect grilled cheese at home. And
Okay.
I've done it. And I use American cheese and I use brie.
Use American and brie. Okay, so here's how I feel about this.
Yes.
Hate American.
Yeah?
Love brie.
Why do you hate American cheese?
Because it's not even really cheese.
Oh, I use cheddar. Sorry. I use sharp cheddar. Yeah.
You don't use the Kraft singles.
No. I don't use the Kraft singles.
God.
I get my cheese from Trader Joe's, which is the only place anyone should ever get fucking cheese.
Trader
right?
Joe's has an extensive cheese selection.
Yeah, and it's very affordable. So I'm sorry, I misspoke. Not American cheese, cheddar, right?
Okay.
And it's the yellow cheddar.
Still orange,
right?
yes.
Still orange cheese. So maybe you wouldn't be that into it, but it's not like a hydrogenated
but
like
that's
Kraft
good.
single. Yeah.
Kraft single. There's such a big difference to
Not
me.
good. The FDA, I can't believe everyone's like, the FDA says vaping is bad. Oh, everyone stop doing it. Yeah, well, the FDA for years and years and years has said that Kraft singles is cheese.
Yeah.
So you're going to fucking listen to the FDA?
That's
Not
a good
good
point.
idea.
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Thank you.
Getting into it.
But yeah, and then there's a certain, the brie, right? When
Yeah.
little pieces of it remain on the chopping board, they harden and become impossible to get off of there without anything except for a Brillo pen.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
If I could see that brie is a soft cheese, I could see it melting onto the pan
and then
really hardening like a glue gun texture.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when glue dries.
It's an issue.
Wow. Well, what kind of bread are you using?
Sourdough usually.
Oh shit.
My girlfriend likes sourdough. You know what? My whole life they were like, "Oh, white bread has nothing in it. White bread it's useless. It's like you're just eating like fucking like plastic. You know what I mean? It's like eating sawdust. Don't eat white bread." And so I attuned myself to wheat bread, despite the fact that white bread is way fucking tastier on any sandwich.
Sourdough bread.
Yeah, okay, so now I'm on sourdough, but this is weird to me because isn't sourdough white bread?
I don't know, because white bread sucks.
White bread,
But
it tastes
sourdough
so
bread.
good. Sourdough bread is great. I really like
Is sourdough bread considered white bread? Because
That's
it
my
seems like
question.
its own thing.
It seems like its own thing, but is it nutritious? Like, does it have things in it?
Probably not.
Yeah,
But at the
probably not.
same time, it's good.
It
Better than
is
white
good.
bread, better than American cheese.
It is.
Okay, so before we wrap this episode up, I
Yes.
have a gift from you from Speedweed.
Ooh, gifts.
Yes.
Thank you
there
so much. Oh my
go.
God. All right, let's see. What do we got here?
Got all kinds of little treats in there from Speedweed.
Fantastic.
Yes.
All right, so this is my Speedweed Better Box.
Yes.
Ooh, look at all this shit. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I've actually had one of these loaded pre-rolls before. It's really, really good. That's
Yes.
getting smoked today.
Yes.
Ooh, a pack of Lowell smokes. Thanks, Lowell. You know, Lowell, they've consistently, I remember when they first came out, and I'm really just stoked that they've grown into the actual brand of a pack of joints. When you think of a pack of joints, you think of Lowell.
Yes.
And that's a cool thing. A lot of people tried, and you guys became the fucking standard of this shit. So shout out you. They also used to give us pre-rolls for my comedy show, The Shit Show. Oh, and I want to plug my podcast before we go.
Yes, plug whatever you want to plug.
Oh, so I do a podcast called Great Moments in Weed History.
Great
right?
moments in weed history.
Great Moments
I
in
love
Weed
that.
History. It's myself and David Bienenstock, who's a legendary weed journalist. And basically, we go through some of the more fascinating points in the very, very long history of weed.
I love that.
Thank you. And I am sure that your listeners would totally be into Great Moments in Weed
Yes.
History.
So where can we find it?
Everywhere. Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, whatever. It's on every single platform that you can possibly imagine. So please listen to Great Moments in Weed History, my show. We just finished the second season and we're about to start producing season 3.
Okay, yeah, guys, make sure to check that out. And
Yes.
what are your social media
Oh yeah,
handles?
it's I'm Your Kid on all
I'm
the
Your
platforms. I'm Your Kid. You know, follow me or don't, or do something better with your time than be on Instagram. You know, it's up to you.
Follow him. Follow him. Keep
And
up
then-
with his jogger pants.
Keep up with my whole pants saga. And then here, this is a Nug matcha chocolate, a little edible snack there. This is a cannabis infused lollipop right
Yes,
here.
those are
that looks pretty
powerful.
Great. This is a really good gift bag. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank
More
you, Speedy.
pre-rolls. Ooh, 6 pre-rolls in a little round pack.
Yeah.
A little nug. And then, of course, the Royal Mint weed mints.
Yes.
Yay! Thank you.
Hey,
Very
thank
good
you
gift
so much
box.
for
I really
coming
appreciate
on.
it. Yeah, my
Yes.
pleasure being here.
Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Shank. Please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review. And if you have any fashion questions, you can always email Shank, SHENK, at shank.pod@gmail.com.
Shank.pod.
Thank you. I've almost forgot my own email address. That's our episode. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.